Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a little mini-series in S.T.A.L.K.E.R Anomaly. A small Let's Play, if you will. Now, I tried recording, or actually did record, a couple of episodes of S.T.A.L.K.E.R Anomaly as a military character, and I played the warfare mode here, without any stories, without any linear quests. And the objective basically was to conquer the zone, and although that was fun, it wasn't perfect, right? There were some issues with it, but primarily, out of all of that, one, it tends to overload the AI a little bit. There's a lot of movement going around, different squads securing different areas, but it also didn't have the same feel and atmosphere as a more traditional, if you will, playthrough would, with linear quests and everything, so despite the fact that I now have to throw away those episodes and throw away the nice little cinematic shot I did of explaining the lore behind the current military operation that I've totally made up the night prior, but, you know, despite having to throw all of that away because it's just not as interesting and not as fun for me to play, we're now going to play as a military character, and I will roleplay a fair amount. I will immerse myself into the game, but, you know, sans the whole overdoing it thing. Right. And now there's a controller. And he's coming this way. Well, I've been toying around with the add-ons, and I'll give you a list of the add-ons any minute now. As soon as I do that. Jesus. Okay. Second problem that I'm having with Anomaly is I'm having occasional freezes. I think that's due to the honestly ridiculous number of 4K stuff installed into the game that isn't supposed to run at 4K. The guns, the outfits, the knives, etc., the NPC weapons as well. There's some retextures of objects, like food and stuff, although you don't exactly drop this, it does have to render it out. Yeah, even if you can't try again, even if you can't see it when you drop it. Yeah, it's let's say not ideal, but anyways, when I recover my eyesight, I'll go talk about it a bit more. Let's see if there's any work to be done. But what is my objective here? Well, I've been hired. Surprise, surprise, the mercenary's been hired to do something. I've been hired to track down the one, the only, the legendary S.T.A.L.K.E.R. Now, I know next to nothing about my employer, and so does Aslan, and so does the, oh, I forgot his name, the quartermaster guy that gave me the actual contract and forwarded to me. We know next to nothing about who actually wants to find S.T.A.L.K.E.R and to what purpose, but we've just been told to find him, or me specifically, but I can enlist the aid of whomever I want. And actually, to that end, I was also told to go see Lukasz and talk to him about, well, his situation over at Army Warehouses, see if he needs any help, because the mercenaries and Freedom have a surprisingly good relationship, at least now. Actually, a very, very good relationship, which is what kind of makes it surprising. That said, I hope in about a minute or two I will have my eyesight back. Can I take a look at... nope. No, I can't. Okay. Secure the base. There is something I'm supposed to do over there. I can't really see it, but I'll get to it. Forward and then left. Okay. We started as ridiculously as possible with a controller right outside our base, but... well, I'd put it to you, not many people would make a base here. Right outside of Dead City, right next to Yantar. No. Oh, sorry, is it Yantar or Yanov? I keep mixing the two up. It is Yantar, yes, I was right. Like I said, not a lot of people will do that, but hey. Anyways, I'm supposed to meet with Professor Shakarov about my next destination, and I am supposed to talk to someone down in the swamps who supposedly knows where S.T.A.L.K.E.R is, but I guess we'll figure out how much he knows, if he knows anything at all, later down the line. For now, let me step out of character once again, pause the game really quickly, and open up the list of add-ons, since you're probably interested in what I'm using. As far as the difficulty is concerned, I've toned down the player protection a little bit, but I have drastically increased the power of bullets in this game. Unfortunately, I can only change the hitting power, if you will, of my bullets, otherwise I have to buff the damage of absolutely everything in the game, which isn't quite what I want, but bullets are very powerful. My protection isn't that great, however, there are also a couple of other things that I've tweaked so that there's less grinding. I'll talk about that when I actually bring up the list of add-ons, and I'll probably write it down in the description below, but if I forget, I'm going to put it in the video too. So here we go. So, in no particular order of importance, Anomaly HD models. Arszee's Radiation Overhaul, Bart's Model Gold Interface Project, Blindside's Reanimation and JSRS Patch, Body Dots on the minimap, Fun Allowed Loadouts, highly recommend it. Sorry about that. General Fire Mode Switcher Sound, it's so immersive, it's such a tiny little detail, but I love it. Immortal Companions, for fairly obvious reasons, companions are not the brightest and they do not listen to orders. Having them immortal will not make your game much easier, trust me, they're not very useful, but I mean, to be honest, I doubt I'll have companions, but having them immortal, the few that I do, and having to actually go through more than 5 minutes of adventuring with them and creating some kind of bond, I think would be nice. New item highlights. Now, I also have THAP, but I'm not using it yet. I might install it throughout the Let's Play. Aggressor Reshade, Grok's Craft and Repair Overhaul, must have in my opinion. The crafting system of Anomaly is convoluted, complicated, goes into detail, I think, a little bit too much and a little bit not enough in some aspects, which makes a weird combination. For example, to disassemble a rifle, you need tools, which you don't. I can disassemble a rifle without tools, at least most rifles. It depends on the year of production and everything, but like, you need tools to disassemble a Glock 17, or a CZ75 or something. No, you don't. I need my hands, and I'll disassemble it to tiny little bits, right? You know, like, it's, yeah, anyways. EFT aim rattle, food, drug, and drink animations. Oh, by the way, the crafting overhaul basically changes a few things so that you don't need to have a workbench in order to do some crafting. It makes things a little bit easier. If you want, it removes recipes, and yeah, so you basically know all the recipes from the start, and yeah, it just makes things a little bit more easier. He's With Me, a mod, it's literally called He's With Me. It makes it so your companions will not shoot at stalkers you are not hostile to, and stalkers that that don't view you as hostile will not shoot at your companions either. Basically, it makes it so that you synchronize your hostilities. High-res PDA maps, Hollywood FX, JSRS port, 3.6 I'm using. Loot Rebalance, phenomenal mod, makes the game a little bit less grindy. You can tweak how much overhaul you want. It doesn't make the game a lot easier, but it does make looting a little bit more sensible. This means that when you kill a high-value target, he's not going to have 2 bullets on him and a TT-33 or something. He is going to have some better equipment. I'm also using a configuration in the settings that lets me loot all the outfits of the people I've killed. Obviously, they're going to be in piss-poor condition, and they're going to be incredibly heavy, so it's not going to be practical to loot them 99% of the time, but I like the option to, because it makes the game feel more realistic and more alive, right? Because otherwise, they've glued their suit to their body? Come on, no. It's kind of like in Skyrim, right? When you kill someone, all the equipment is there for you to take. I'm also using MCM 1.5 to tweak some of the things like the rattle and so on. Soundscape overhaul and stashes on the map in case we need to find a stash for a mission or desperately need some basic tools or something, which I started the game with just to avoid that unpleasant situation. But yeah, in case we need something, we have that. The radiation overhaul mod is also pretty fascinating, but I've started the game with an M40 gas mask, so it's not the most useful thing ever, and it's not going to be that big of a difference, but it is very immersive because you need to actually consider the weather when accounting for radiation, so I do like that. Okay, is there anything you want me to do? No. Right. Most of the time, I will play without any UI, or at least I'll endeavor to. I think, controversial opinion, I think a lot of the time the UI really doesn't matter that much. Whether you have a minimap on or not will not influence combat because you can't actually see any combat information on that minimap. Seeing your health and your ammo is, I guess it's useful, but... Oh, whoops. Sorry about that. When the game freezes like that for a second, I'll stop speaking, just in case something gets cut. But, yeah, it happens occasionally. I've tried lowering settings, I've tried doing a bunch of things. Nothing basically helped. The game just does that. Even without any of the mods, the game tends to stutter every now and again. It's an old engine, it's an old game, what can you do? But, anyways, what was I talking about? Ah, yes. So, yeah, like, I would argue you should be able to see your health if you're taking damage anyway. What I would really love is Immersive Hood. But Immersive Hood when you need it, hide when you don't. Kind of like the one Gopher makes for Skyrim and for other Bethesda games in general. I think we need one for S.T.A.L.K.E.R, but anyway, well, for Anomaly specifically. But anyway, since we can't have that, and all the Hood mods are very hard on the game files in that they will corrupt save files very easily. And gotta be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of corrupting my save file over nothing, or over something so, relatively speaking, insignificant like that. I choose just to use this one, which makes things look a little bit cleaner, but other than that, doesn't change. I think that's a stash there. Doesn't change things too much. However, the biggest selling point, at least the biggest selling point I would argue, for this playthrough that I haven't told you about yet, is that I'm playing in Ironman mode. Oh yeah. Now, I have given myself a few lives. I think I've started with 3 or 4. I nearly lost one to the controller. So I'm not going to be playing anything off camera, precisely because of that. I could step into an anomaly and end it all. But in order to stop this series from being 1 episode long, I've given myself a couple of lives, and, you know, a little bit of leniency, but I don't intend on using those lives for any practical reasons. Those lives are there in case the game freezes and I die, in case there's some instability like that, in case I step on an anomaly while I'm doing something, and, you know, that's a bit of a silly way to go. Or in case... Well, this is what I would call YouTube reasons, right? Maybe I'm trying to get a cool shot of something, and I'm not paying attention, and a chimera jumps me. Yeah, too bad. Don't want to end it like that, because I'm not focusing because I'm trying to capture something for YouTube. When you play the game for yourself versus when you record it, things are very, very different. I'll explain why in, you know, and then I'm stepping back into the character I won't talk about. Oh, whoops. Okay. And I'll step back into character and I won't talk about stuff like this anymore. If I were playing the game for myself, I would be playing it more like this, right? This is generally how I would be playing the game, but if I play it like that, most of you are going to be sick and are going to tell me to... Well, you're going to tell me rude stuff in the comments, right? Quite understandably so. Which is why I tend to force my hand to be a little smoother. I tend to aim like this, and yeah, it's... You do stuff like that, more or less subconsciously after some experience. I didn't intend on hitting the poor thing with the... or from this range, rather, but... Okay, come on. Gotcha. I suppose I might as well loot something if I need to. Oh, and I don't remember if I mentioned this or not. I am using BAS, which for some reason isn't showing up here, or I just didn't say that I'm using it. Yeah, boomsticks and sharpsticks, my favorite mod for Anomaly. I tried Provac's weapon overhaul. Look, it's a bunch of extremely well put together and thought out mods that don't play well together. First of all, add-ons are a bit of a problem. Not add-ons for mods, but add-ons like this scope. This scope works phenomenally well on BSA weapon, on BAS weapons. Because it's a scope from BAS. You'd expect it to work phenomenally on BAS weapons. The scope will work pretty alright on vanilla weapons. But what happens when I put it on some other modder's weapon? Well, I'll tell you what happens. It's either huge and takes up like 40% of the screen, and I've also had this happen when I zoom in. It doesn't zoom here like the what do you call it? The reticle that you're looking at right now is actually like at the top of the screen. Now it is accurate. For example, you will, let's say I'm aiming at. Let's find something small. Let's say I'm aiming at that S letter. It looks like C to, I'm assuming, a lot of you, but that's S. Anyways, let's say I'm aiming at that S letter. If I'm aiming at it like this from the hip, I'm roughly going to hit the S letter. If I right-click, I am aiming at the S letter. However, it is accurate, except that my sight would be at the top of the screen. For some reason. It does that with a lot of sights. Some of the weapons are just too different. The animations are just... Some of the animations are closer to the original 3 S.T.A.L.K.E.R games, some of them are closer to Escape from Tarkov. There's just too big of a difference. And yeah. Also, like, I think I can put all that aside. Some of the weapons' FOV is so bad. Like, this is, I think, perfect, because I can see the back of the weapon here. I can see the dust cover, right? You press that button to take the dust cover off, right there below the optic, at the end of the basically at the edge of the screen. I see a fair bit of the weapon, and if I were to take it in my hands, I would see roughly that much of the weapon. For some of them, my view would start with where my thumb is. So you would see like 10% of the weapon on screen, and then the rest of it would be somewhere behind you. It's really not good. I wish I could show you, but I don't have any of those weapons installed, so yeah. It's like, imagine if the entire optic and everything was off-screen, and the only bit of the weapon you could see is where I'm holding it with my left hand currently. That's not good. That doesn't look good, and, you know, if all the weapons were like that, fine, but it's just a few, and then you... I don't like it. Anyways, we did the first job, we did the tutorial, I told you pretty much everything you need to know about the setup, and now I'm gonna shut my trap. Well, not entirely, it would make for a boring video, but I'm going to focus a little bit more on the game, I'm going to step more into character, and I'm going to stop talking about the technical stuff and the, you know, all the inner workings of the mod, and actually start doing. Alright, I think I talked to most of these guys, but I would like to check again. Nope, there's nothing. Okay. Hi. Is there any work you want done? Capture documents at Agroprom. Kill a monolith soldier in Zaton. The problem is I'm not going to be going to Zaton anytime soon. Sorry. You have anything to sell? The sleeping bag isn't the worst.
Если что, к командиру, с ним беседуй.
Okay. Oh, I know who I need to talk to. You. Yes, I'll get you the basic tools. But I won't give you my basic tools. I'll find some extra basic tools for you. I would like to repair this AK-74 though. Oof. Bit too expensive. Bit too expensive. Okay, let's instead sell this, which is apparently completely worthless. Alright, you learn something new every day. And then let's get over to you, and I'm gonna sell you. I'm gonna keep the controller hand and the controller sculpt, I think. I'm not gonna keep the sculpt, you can have it. Offers a lot of psychic resistance, and that's pretty much it. The rest of the bonuses are minor. Not yeah, you can take the sculpt. Sure, it's how much is it? It's an alright amount of money. Okay, yeah, you can take that. The reason I'm selling it is I would like some ammo. I have 2,912 rubles. Didn't I just finish a mission that gave me some more money? Apparently not. Apparently not. Okay. Tell you what I would like. At least another magazine of ammunition. And that quick release system, yes. That, although not immediately useful, is future-proofing, basically. Okay. Now, off to find S.T.A.L.K.E.R. Well, not really. I mean, eventually, sure. There is someone down there, but I need to get to Yanov. Oh, sorry, no, Yantar. I'll get to Yanov eventually. I need to get to Yantar, talk to the professor. And in order to do that, I need to go to army warehouses, wild territory, and then go over here. The reason I can't go immediately down south is because Yantar is completely inaccessible to humans, basically. I think some ecologists have some sort of protection that they can put on their heads and actually go there, but there is a psi field there, and it'll just fry my brain the moment I go in. So, not to mention the millions of mutants, I'm over-exaggerating only slightly, but not to mention the mutants that are already there, I suppose I could buy some psi protection from them and eventually go in if I need to, for something, but for now, I need to go around. Anyways, there should be plenty for us to do in, for me to do really, in army warehouses. So, let's go there, I think. If memory serves, the road to army warehouses should be, yeah, should be down here. Right. Here we go. Alright, here we go. Army warehouses. Everyone lighting campfires around here. Okay, I mean, not that I mind. Useful stash caffeine tablets. Saved my life once.
Да неохота мне болтать. Иди с командиром говори.
Well, if I could find where your commandeer is, I will talk to him. Back here, possibly.
Ну рассказывай, я весь внимание. Иди лучше с главным пообщайся.
Hello, oh, never mind. I guess we won't be taking any jobs from these folks. Alright, this also, I mean, this is what I've been told, is Bloodsucker Village. Anything done? Subcontractor and Cordon. No, anything else? No. Different missions. Plus, it's millions of miles away, but... Now, Army Warehouses is a fascinating little place with, well, first of all, there's a village in it called Bloodsucker Village.
Да
I
неохота мне
think I
болтать.
don't
Иди
need
с
to
командиром.
say more on the topic. But it also has a very interesting power dynamic, let's say, in it, because on the one hand, freedom and duty are fighting over the territory. Freedom controls the territory, duty's pestering them, basically, but yes, anyways, freedom and duty are fighting. But if that isn't enough, there's also all kinds of zombies and mutants and stuff, which, yeah, you sort of expect to find them everywhere in the zone anyway, so it's not a huge surprise. That said, though, the army warehouses, it's in the name, used to belong to the army. Ergo, they have an interest in taking the territory as well, which, now, they don't really have the capability to, but they try. I mean, they don't have the determined, they're not as determined as you, and they don't have the funding or the manpower. I should explain. They have the manpower. They absolutely do. It's just that they're not given the necessary manpower and resources to take control of. The bloody place. So they sort of tend to pester freedom a little bit, but this is all kind of secondary. Well, you see, the real threat comes from the north, and it comes in the shape of monolith soldiers, which don't frequent the barrier that often, but they do appear. When they appear, oh boy, I saw the guy run over, but I don't know for the life of me whose side he was on. Because what I can tell from the PDA, there's also ecologists here. Oof. Okay. Duty. That one I can tell was duty. Oh, it's that anomaly that's really causing most of the trouble here for me. Because otherwise I'd be moving a lot more. Right, good to know. It doesn't go into this room. I heard that. And I don't want any part of it. To be honest. Oh, there is a... That's a snork, who cares? Okay. Dash is empty, let's check. Okay. Let's check up here. I think my bottom is a little bit scorched, but we'll live. Okay, the incessant shooting is really starting to get to me. mostly on a psychological level. Another dead stalk over there. Okay. Um... 545 times 39, that's AK caliber. Oh, if only I knew who you were, I would not hesitate shooting you. You are skylining terribly, my friend.
Ты это, не безобразничай! Ствол спрячь, а?
What?
Ну рассказывай, я весь внимание.
To be fair, I was pointing my gun at you. Sorry, the camo kind of confusing. It's these new bloody uniforms. Like the old uniforms were easy to identify. It's awesome. That's an old monolith uniform. Like things were a lot more color coded back then, but now with more modern uniforms, kind of hard to tell who's who. Yeah, until they start shooting at you. And also, for some bizarre reason, basic tools, let's go. That is my second set of basic tools. That is honestly phenomenal. Okay, that is the road towards Rostock and the duty base. Not where I want to be going. Well, yes, where I want to be going, but not yet. Opposite it, rather, fittingly, I suppose. Rest in peace. Opposite it, I suppose, ideologically and geographically, is the Freedom Base. Over here we should be safe. I'm going to put my rifle away.
Слушай, не грузи, а? Вон главный стоит.
Hello?
В общем, выкладывай.
I want 10 duty patches. That I can do. I imagine I'll find a number of them. Just by, scavenging around. Soon enough. A lot of people don't collect the patches after they kill someone. And they don't collect the patches from their comrades either. It's kind of a waste, honestly. People pay good money for those patches. They don't exactly care whether you've actually killed someone with respect to the jobs that they give you. They just care for the patches. They take that as proof and.
Мэн, поговорить нам.
Suits me just fine. A little bit dishonorable, maybe, but mercenary, what do I care? Alright, do you want any work done? You want basic tools? Yeah, everyone needs basic tools. I could give you them, and then, you know, we can work from there, but prefer to give them to the guy at my own base. Hello. Quite the bodyguards you have there. Don't mind if I have a drink while we chat. Lukash, care to chat about freedom a little bit? Of course you would. That is a lot of information to lay on a man. So instead I'll just ask you, what do you need anything done? You want a S.T.A.L.K.E.R? I can find you a S.T.A.L.K.E.R. They are not exactly they're not exactly... Raid the enemy north of Old Shack. Yes, I'll do that. S.T.A.L.K.E.R.s aren't exactly the rarest thing in the zone. Okay. So... Scouting expedition and raid the enemy on the same group. Fascinating. Let's have a sip of water and go and have a chat with those dutiers up there. Which I think is the local, or is a local term for them. Members of duty faction, dutiers. It doesn't sound quite right, but that's what they're called. Anyways, would much prefer going into this either with backup or with an ACOG. Oh, sorry, with an ACOG or with backup in that order of importance. Hell, even a PSO I think will do. Kind of difficult to find ACOG sites for older AKs, but PSO would do me just fine. However, I have neither. Isn't it? I mean, this is the barrier. Isn't this where the gatekeeper is? I've heard stories of the man. I don't know if he actually exists. Supposedly, this ridiculously experienced stalker who has been in the zones from basically from the start, right? From the very beginning, and he's seen it all, he's done it all, and now his sole objective, supposedly, is keeping Monolith outside of that. I have no idea what faction that person belongs to. He's his own faction, right? He is the Exosuits faction, which you do not mess with. That is the faction. Okay, and that... I'm not sure if that's the gatekeeper or if that's the duty soldiers. It's all so confusing, like... okay. Here's hoping he won't mind me barging in and killing his companions? Acquaintances. Probably. Hopefully. Okay, enough delaying and... terrified. Do I have a grenade? I do have a grenade. Am I going to use it? Absolutely not. That would be a silly thing to do, because I could hit someone I don't want to. Now, you. You're not causing a fuss over me approaching you with a rifle in my uniform, so I'll assume you're the gatekeeper. Yeah, sorry, mate. You, Hello? Took part in the Pripyat raid way back in 2012. Now you spend your days Spend your days watching over this little stretch of road called the Barrier. And as long as you live, not a single one will cross the barrier and enter the warehouses or the zones south of here. It's, yeah, he is the only stalker Monolith is, well, I'm not sure they can feel fear, but the only stalker that Monolith has some sort of reaction to. And that is quite a statement. Now, with that said, I've been tasked to raid enemy territory for freedom. I should report back to Lukash after the job is done. Here's the thing. I don't see any duty soldiers around. I've also looted the place rotten. The only thing I haven't broken is this box, and that one was empty. So I'm gonna write this one off as a victory for freedom and the mercs. Unless... No, he doesn't want me to kill you. Like, the marker is here. So I'm not killing you. First of all, I don't think I can, but I'm not killing you. I'll check down here. Nope, there is nothing. Well, I'm afraid... Is it maybe the guy on the crossroads down there in the exosuit? Because if they want me to kill him, I mean, I'm probably going to take about 3 magazines, but I can do it. I say I can do it. I can try and do it, is what I mean. I also have some EP rounds that... I mean, they're old EP rounds, but they might help. He says, deluding himself into believing he can take on such a heavily armored... person. Such a heavily armored person. Okay. Well. Okay. It was the one dude down here. Oh, that is a terrible exoskeleton. I mean, I'm afraid its main feature is it looks cool. I'll take it and sell it, most likely. And I'll be going after my reward now. Thank said I'll be going after my reward now, thank you very much. That is such a terrible exoskeleton. Like... I'll take a sleeping bag with me. Now, what did you have, Still controlled by freedom? Yeah, okay. Put the rifle away. What did you have for a weapon? Ah, the S.A.L.K.E.R. With, old ammunition. AP ammunition, mind you. Yeah, it's that is... not ideal. That just went straight through me.
Ну рассказывай, я весь внимание.
Hi. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, that just went straight through me, barely did any damage. Yep. Oh well. I mean, this provides a tiny bit of ballistic protection, like 18% more, but this provides barely any protection. So, like, look at this. These are... I think you get better protection overall from a clean and new, like, sunrise suit or something. Excellent high-tech armor developed domestically by one of the research institutes, specifically for the duty faction. That said, the armor is slowly being phased out in favor of cheaper, more practical suits, and few suits and active service tend to be in the hands of duty's oldest veterans. This is 3 parts, left cable environmental jumpsuit, fitted with modern powered servos. It's a shame it doesn't protect against much, though. I mean, I understand this one is damaged, and I'm assuming repairing it is a nightmare, but even still. This I'm much more interested in. The DS Arms SA-51. Austrian style. Manufactured by the American company DSA. Is a legal copy of the S.T.A.L.K.E.R. Well, it's a copy in many ways, but it is different. Does it say exactly how? Or I'm just going to rat off from the top of my head. Yes, it does. This model comes with a 21-inch barrel length and other Austrian-style stuff like the original Austrian foregrip for a S.T.A.L.K.E.R. Aluminium because it's an American rifle, right? Aluminium alloy lower receiver and improved glass-filled nylon furniture. This model used by the military and law enforcement and is this model used by military and law enforcement and can run fully automatic. Can run fully automatically, if you will, but yes, the DSA-58 use any metric measurement full magazines. Okay. I mean, it's alright. I'm kidding. The caliber is terrifying. This is a battle rifle. Which is a fancy way of saying it's slightly bigger and heavier than an assault rifle, so we gave it a new name. Monolith faction patches. Yeah, I'll do that. Well, I say I'll do that. I'll try and do that, and eventually maybe I'll collect enough monolith patches. So I do need to go to the Dead City. There's usually plenty of them around. Let's head... I think down here is the guy that handles the gear for base. Yeah. Hello. Is there anything you want done, first of all? Lead-lined metal containers, 10 of them empty, and 5 bear detectors. I want 12 dog meat, 6 improvised stim packs. Okay, I'll do that, and I'll give you the 6 improvised stim packs somehow, eventually. Don't count on me, doing it soon, but I will get to you eventually. Now, this terrifying battle rifle aside, 11,000 for giving you the exoskeleton. It's not even that good. Okay, let's sell all of this. It's pretty useless. I'll keep the container, I think. You can have the SA-58 though. It's a tad too expensive to run. Plus, I don't like the sights on it, and it's I mean, look. To claim that the S.T.A.L.K.E.R is not a good weapon is lunacy. To claim that you would prefer something with a little bit more firepower and cheaper cartridges and stuff, that's pragmatic and understandable. So I'll hide my dislike for the weapon, mostly due to it being so darn heavy, under the guise of being more economically sound, let's say. That sounds better. Alright, don't need any of that. That is 16,000 rubles, very nice. Sounds like a lot, but given the fact that my ammunition resupply is going to cost more than half of that, all of a sudden, not that great. You have improvised stim packs, and you want me to get you some. That's slightly strange, but okay. Is there anything else I want from you? Probably not. But I should check. I wanted a pistol. Yes, I did. I wanted a pistol, and I thought about which one for quite a while. Though, to be honest, I think I'm better off repairing my rifle and then just focusing on that. There is a S.T.A.L.K.E.R here. I'm gonna bring it to Lukash, and he's gonna reward me by giving me probably half the SPAS's value. And I'm well aware of that, but at the same time, I'm not exactly doing this just for money. Partially doing it for money, but I also need favour with freedom. So I'm gonna go up there and gonna be like, oh look, I've found you a brand new S.T.A.L.K.E.R, it's amazing. Go, killed... Bodyguards are gone. Killed like 7 duty soldiers to get it for you. Okay, 28,000, that's roughly how much I paid, I think? More or less, maybe even slightly over, I don't exactly remember how much I paid. I know it was 20-something. Interesting. Let's fix this AK, because I have a feeling I'm going to be using it for a while, and then... I think that's the only thing I'm going to fix. Yeah. And that still leaves me with 22,500 rubles for anything I want, really. Which is rather nice. So, let's grab the echo detector. It's a terrible detector, but, you know, better than nothing. I want a pistol. Yes, I do. And I have my eyes on several. But I've never been this conflicted in my life. Well, kind of. Here's the thing. I want to keep the whole Soviet style, right? Soviet assault rifle. Might as well go with a Soviet pistol, right? Problem is Soviet pistols. There's the Stechkin. I'm not quite sure how you're supposed to pronounce it. It's not great, but it's an interesting caliber. There's the TT-33, which is a very interesting pistol. There are better variants of it than the ones produced in the Soviet Union, which is kind of weird, given the fact that, you know, if you want a good AK, you usually go to the original Kalashnikov-made ones, right, by the company Kalashnikov, or at least by the Soviets in some capacity. That said, you know, it's not like there are copies out there that are far worse, but usually your safest bet is the ones from Kalashnikov. With the TT-33s, though, you're sometimes better off with different manufacturers. Why am I talking about any of this? Soviet pistols, at least the ones available here in the zone, and I mean Soviet pistols in general, not great. Especially not great for what I need them, and that's stopping power and killing power, basically. I need them for self-defense, and I need them with hollow point or semi-jacketed hollow point ammunition or something along those lines. I don't need them to be armor-piercing. I have a rifle for those targets. The TT-33 has the highest penetration of any 9mm pistol out there. It has more penetration than 357 Magnum. I'm not quite sure about 44 Magnum, but yeah, it has a ridiculous amount of penetration. It has more penetration than 45 ACP. You don't expect 45 ACP to penetrate much. That's what I need. I need 45 ACP. I don't need... I mean, 9mm will do as well. I don't need a TT-33, which is the stereotypical Soviet pistol. That said, there are alternatives, though not many here. There is a Walter P99. Reliable, standard, I mean, it's well known, used throughout the world. Browning high-powered, pretty much the same. What I would really like is a Sig Sauer P220 or 226, or the 220 version that's chambered in 45 ACP, which does exist. Or I'd like a CZ75, the grandfather of all, well, the father, let's say, of all modern CZ pistols. A phenomenal piece of kit. Absolutely phenomenal. The ones you have, I'll think about it more. I'm gonna spend all my money immediately. Let's enjoy it a little bit, right? Anyways, now I need to figure out where I'm going to next. Yeah. Here's the thing. I'm gonna go back to base. I'm gonna go collect my money from the stuff that I did, and then I'm heading to Rostock. But I'll head back to base and come back here off camera, because this road is clear, this is clear, always, so... I mean, if something happens, I'll record it, but I don't think so. Other than that, this is the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Like, subscribe down below if you enjoyed, and we'll stay tuned with the rest of the series and the content that I produce on the channel. for your support. The Anomaly videos in general have been doing staggeringly well, honestly, considering how little, or actually I haven't tried to publish them or market them at all. They organically did pretty darn good, so yeah. Anyways, see you all next time. Have fun, take care, bye-bye.